Welcome to PilatesFit. Today we're going to be working the core and the glutes. So go ahead and lie down, and the first thing we will do is learn the 3 spinal positions. Spinal neutral. This is the position most comfortable and natural to us. Our low back has a natural arch which remains off the mat, and it may help to place the hands on the pelvis and practice both arching and tilting, then finding that middle or neutral position where our hands are flat. We want to imagine we're zipping up a tight pair of jeans and slightly engaging our pelvic floor muscles. Breathe normally through your nose. Second position, imprint spine. This is where we press our low back into the mat and find a deeper engagement through our core. We continue to breathe through the nose. And the third position is C-spine. We imagine our rib cage drawing down towards the front of our hip bones. We really feel a deep engagement through our core. Try not to strain the neck and breathe normally through your nose here. Now that we've learnt those 3 positions, let's try them in a kneeling position. This is really important for understanding the positions of the spine before we go into our deeper core exercises. So here we have neutral spine, ear, shoulder and hip in alignment. Now I've just tucked my tailbone slightly without moving my shoulder blades. That would be your imprint spine. Imagine you were lying on the mat and pressing your low back into the floor. And then this is our C-shaped spine. So our shoulder blades come apart and we're really trying to tuck the tailbone and round through that mid and upper body. Now that we know these 3 positions, we can go ahead and start our workout. So using your imprint spine, zip up through that pelvic floor and continue to breathe through the nose as you float both legs to tabletop position. Bringing in a little bit more fire to our center, our core muscles now. Tuck the chin slightly and align the ear, the shoulder and the hip. This should feel like you're already working a bit here. You don't want to let the heels drop too low. And if you're finding it hard to hold, just bring your knees back slightly. We're moving into single leg toe taps in tabletop position. Inhale through the nose as you tap one foot to the floor lightly. Exhale through the nose to return the foot and knee back to the start position. Press your hands into the floor, keep your collarbones open. Relax the jaw, maybe a little smile. Breathing through our nose here. Excellent, almost there. Keep going. This is a nice one to start with. Moving into single leg extension from tabletop. So start in that nice strong tabletop position, and as you inhale, you extend one leg away from your body and down towards the mat. Exhale to bring that same leg back in and then repeat on the other side. Be careful here that you haven't changed your imprint spinal position. So continue to press the low back into the floor and watch that you're not doming through the abdominal wall. Let's take a little rest here before we turn on over into a bear plank position. So for this, we start on all fours with the hands underneath the shoulders, fingertips spread out, and our knees underneath our hips. Tuck your toes underneath you, and you're just going to hover the knees about 5 centimeters off the mat. Remain in a neutral spine here with the ear, shoulder, and hip in alignment. Imagine your rib cage drawing in towards the center of your body and then your belly button pulling up to your lower back. If you can start to walk out to a traditional plank and then walk back into bear plank again. Make sure that your hips aren't going up and down from these 2 positions. They just remain still as the legs walk out and in. Almost there. See if you can do a few more. Don't forget your nasal breath. We're here for another 3. Keep going. You've got this. 2. Fire up that core. 1 more. And take a break. Have a little stretch back into child's pose, bringing your hips to heels and your arms extending long. Nice deep breath here. Before we move on to our next abdominal series, we're going to warm up through the wrists. Some of our positions today are on the hands, so it is important to find mobility and strength through the wrists. Turn your fingertips back to face you while in a kneeling position. Take a little rock side to side, forward and back, but be very gentle here. We're just finding a little bit more length through the wrists. From here you can release that position, sit back onto your heels and shake out your wrists. Interlace your fingers and create figure 8s, rolling those wrists one way and then the other. Give them another shake out and make pincers by pressing your thumb into your fingertips, arms extended straight out in front of you, and roll your wrists in one direction. You can roll them back around the other way, and this should produce a beautiful forearm and wrist stretch. Give them one more shake out before we go on to our core series. This is where things start to get a little bit spicier through the abdominals. So find that low back, imprint it onto the mat, shoulders down, chin tucked slightly, and float your legs one at a time up to tabletop position. So we'll go through those 2 basics again. Your tabletop toe taps, and you should feel like you're more connected to your deep core now. Exercises don't necessarily have to be really hard for them to be effective. These basics will carry on through to harder progressions over time, and you'll be even better at them for practicing. So let's come back to our breath in and out through the nose. 1 breath, 1 movement. We're almost there. And now we're going to move on to those single leg extensions. But you'll notice I've added a variation by flexing my heel as I press the leg away from me and lower it down. Point the foot to bring the leg back in. So here we're developing a body awareness, and we have that core engagement, which will protect the lower back and improve performance in more complex movements. Keep going here, or if you're struggling, you're always welcome to go back to toe taps, or even just practicing holding tabletop. Check that lower rib cage is pressing down to the hips. Check that your collarbones remain open. Continue your breath in through the nose, out through the nose. Right, next exercise. We're going to take the legs straight up to the sky if you can. Glue them together and point the toes. Your hands come under your low back, and for this double leg extension, we inhale to lower the legs down, exhale through the nose with power to lift those legs up. This is your hardest one, so stay with it. Couple more here. Inhale to lower, press the hands into the floor, exhale to lift. Well done. Take a little break. Alright, interlace the fingers behind the head. We have our crunch. This is a basic crunch to work the upper abdominals. Exhale to lift the upper body. Notice how I'm not crunching through the neck. It is a lift from the upper body. So you're using your abdominals to lift the upper torso, the head, and the arms. You're not using your arms to lift your head, then your torso. As you exhale, that rib cage draws down towards the rib cage. It's down towards the hips. It's so important to keep that movement there. Couple more. Next is bicycle crunches. Right, take a little rest here. Keep those hands interlaced behind the head. Float the legs to tabletop. Lift up into C crunch. From here, we're placing, or rotating, I should say, opposite underarm to knee. So don't think of elbow to knee. Think of your underarm area going towards the opposite knee. And with this, it's an inhale to one side, exhale to the other side. Keep going, you've got this. It is not easy. We've built up a fire in our core and we're continuing to stoke that fire, that center, that powerhouse, our entire abdominal area. Almost there, a couple more. Keep breathing. 3, 2, 1. Have a rest, but only a short rest, because we're moving on to oblique reaches. So from here, you're going to lift one shoulder and reach towards the opposite outside of the knee. Exhale to lift and reach. Inhale to lower down. Now you want to keep the elbows wide in this posture. One arm reaches across, and I like to try and get my pinky finger to touch the crease of the knee there. So go as far as you can up and across. Again, we're not crunching, we're not using our hand to lift our head. We're using our core to lift our shoulders and head to reach. Almost there. Remember that long exhale through the nose. Inhale through the nose. You're here for another 3. Keep going. You've got this. Good. Relax. Good job. Okay, long body stretch before we turn on over. You're doing well, everyone. Stay with it. Grab a drink if you need it. Otherwise, make your way on over to all fours. So this is where our wrist warm-up comes in handy. We're going to find a strong plank position. This is mountain climbers. So hands under shoulders, spread the fingertips apart, grip your mat, and then step your heels back into a plank position. Rib cage to hip, and as we exhale, we draw one knee in towards the center of our body. Inhale to return it back to plank. Now we can do a quick body scan here. We're thinking about ear in line with shoulder, shoulder in line with hip, and then that hip to heel line is aligned. We also want shoulder down to wrist to be aligned or vertical. Keep going here. You got 4, 3, 2 more, and lucky last. Well done. Take a break. I know that was hard. Sit back into child's pose and have a breather. Okay, the second one in our prone series is a side oblique rotation. So elbow under shoulder, lift up into a side plank, and as we exhale, we scoop our hand and reach under and behind us. Now I'm showing you the easier version here for about 5 reps, which is with the base knee bent. If you'd like to make this harder, you can move into a full side plank position, whereby we extend our base leg in front of our top leg, lift the waist away from the mat, and continue to inhale as we reach up, exhale to scoop down and behind us. One more, you've got it, stay strong. That's not an easy exercise. And relax. All right, let's take the other side. So the setup is a really important part of any exercise. We think, is my shoulder above my elbow? Is my knee in the right place? Am I aligned from my ear to my shoulder to my hip to my heel? Then once we're in that beautiful side plank, we can go ahead, exhale to rotate, inhale to reach. All of these exercises promote not only strength but mobility and awareness of our spine or our center. Now, centering is one of the most important principles, I feel, in Pilates. So all of these movements are based around that centering principle. Keep going. You've only got a few more of these, whichever variation you've chosen. Try and stay with your breath, nice and slow, and take a break. Next is forearm to extended plank. So we actually start an extended plank, so it's your normal plank posture, and once you're there you can drop down to your elbows and then press back up again. I like to alternate which elbow comes down first and which hand I come up onto first as well, then alternate to the other sides. It can get quite confusing if you're not focusing, but concentration is another core principle of Pilates. So we want to be concentrating on our movements. They don't have to be perfect, but we are trying to be as precise as we can, and that's another principle, precision. Take a little breather, come back into child's pose. You're doing really well here. A few deep breaths as you sink the hips back, reach the arms forward. Well done, everyone. Let's move into our glute series here. So to come off the wrists and make it a little bit easier, our donkey kick is going to be starting off with our elbows on the floor. Interlace your fingertips and press the thumbs between your eyebrows. This will help maintain a neutral neck and spine position. You're going to bend the right leg, and now we're only moving from the hip joint. If you're rounding and arching through your spine, you're not engaging your core correctly. It pays to maybe look in a mirror or check your reflection here if you can see what your spine is doing. We want to only move from the hip joint. We'll do a few more of these, and you'll notice I have a flexed foot. You can have either a flexed or a pointed ankle, that's fine. Okay, one more, and I want you to hold it at the top, and this is where I'm going to do little pulses, just moving from the hip joint. Keeping that neck, shoulder, hip, knee alignment here. Go ahead and stay with that pulse for 3. Keep going for 2. You've got this. 1, and release. So now we're going to take the left hand side, come back down into your elbow position, and go ahead and extend into donkey kick with your left leg. Just again, watch that you're not arching and rounding through the spine. Also be aware you're not twisting your hips. The breathing pattern for this would be exhale to lift, inhale to lower. And everyone's going to have a different range of motion or different ability here. So just work with your own ability, and that goes for all of these exercises. We'll do 1 or 2 more, and then we'll hold at the top and pulse it out. Excellent. That hip extension, really important, especially if you're sitting a lot. Get tight lower back muscles. This will really help strengthen up the back body. Have a little rest. Did we feel a bit of a burn on the glute? I hope we did. Right, second exercise, fire hydrant, hands under shoulders, taking your right knee out the side as far as you can, and then slowly lowering back down again. We exhale to lift the knee, inhale to lower down. Now with this one, I like to bring my hands slightly to the left side of the mat as I'm performing the fire hydrant with my right leg. This will create a nice triangular balanced position between the 2 front hands and the base leg, which in this scenario is our left leg. Go for another 2 more. Feeling that through the hips. Now your left leg's actually working more than your right in that scenario. Have a rest, and then we'll take the left side. Back up into our kneeling tabletop. And starting off by doing the fire hydrant on that left side now. So again, the mobility for everyone is going to be different. You might not feel very flexible through your hips, and that's okay. This actually helps with mobility as well as strength. So in this scenario, we've got the right leg actually stabilizing and working hard, and then the left leg is the one that's actively moving the knee out the side and back down, using your glute med muscles, the side of your glutes. Right, try and keep your arms straight there. Almost done. Take a little break. Right, we've got one or two more exercises in this position, and that is the bird dog. I've got two variations of bird dog for you today. First one, go ahead and find your tabletop. And this is one of my favorite exercises, where we extend our right leg behind us. Make sure you're not twisting your hips. Establish a nice neutral spine. And then we're going to reach the left arm away from us, crunch back in, reach back out, and then we switch sides. So let's find some flow here. Inhale, exhale, inhale, exhale. So every movement has a phase of breath to go with it. This can be challenging, but give yourself some time. Be patient. Don't stress if you can't get the breathing pattern right yet. You will over time. Inhale to reach, exhale to tuck, inhale to reach, exhale, release. Now when I say tuck, you'll notice I'm not actually rounding the spine here. I'm keeping that neutral position, a nice strong core. Now last one is bird dog, but on our tummy. So we're going to pull the belly button away from the mat, exhale to lift opposite arm and leg, inhale to lower down. Now shoulder mobility, hip mobility is going to factor in here. We're further challenging the core by enhancing coordination and pelvic stability. These are all things we need to function well in everyday life. It's not just what we're doing on the mat here today. One or two more. Excellent. Really reach long in that posture. Take a break. Push on back to a child's pose. Always like to do a child's pose in between or transitioning from one series to another. Right. You ready for the hardest exercises of our session? Let's go ahead and lie on our back one more time. 3 exercises to go, and these ones are tough. So, lower leg lift. Place your hands underneath your sit bones, underneath the back of your pelvis, legs to the sky. We're going to exhale, try to lift the hips, the legs, shoot them up to the ceiling or up to the sky. Inhale, lower down 1 vertebrae at a time. Now this is particularly hard, so if you can't get it today, absolutely fine. Doing it at the end of a workout is particularly brutal as well. So give it a go, see what you can do, even if you can try 1 or 2. And try to take those legs up rather than back. Lower down slowly, 1 or 2 more. Good job, everyone. Excellent. Take a little break if you need it. Next one is really hard as well. It's a V-tuck position. So we're going to come up to a seated position. I find this is the easiest place to start. So take a nice big deep breath in and exhale. See if you can do a sit-up to make it there. Nice. So let's establish a V-tuck position on our sit bones. You can either stay in that V position and just hold it there, or you can move into this V-tuck posture. Try not to dump into your lower back, but rather lift tall and draw the knees in towards your body as you sit up. A lot of balance, a lot of coordination, a lot of awareness. Well done. If your low back is feeling it, remember, just take a break. Take a break anytime, it's fine. We felt that. Last exercise of the day. All right, Russian twists. So we're going to lean back onto our sit bones, stay tall, and again, you can just stay here if you want, or we can reach to one side, touch the floor, come back to center. Reach to the other side, come back to center. And we're going to use our breath. So inhale one side, exhale the other side, twisting our shoulders off our hips. You've got this. Now, if it's too hard, again, put the feet on the floor or just have a break. But we're only here for a few more seconds. Good. Remember to pull up nice and tall. And this core activation and glute series has been an essential part of Pilates. So preparing the body for more demanding exercises. Excellent for maintaining proper alignment and stability. Take a long body stretch, everyone. I thank you so much for joining me today. Please like and subscribe to my channel, leave a comment, and I hope to see you next week. Happy training.